Okay, guys, Hasan Piker, the biggest political commentator on the left, he is interviewing the Houthis, who have in their slogan, "Death to America." And in this video, we're going to establish exactly who Hasan Piker is and what's happening here. So the degenerate and defamed story of Hasan Piker started when he said America deserved 9/11 when Al-Qaeda, a terrorist organization, attacked the United States. He's since then said that capitalists need to be put in concentration camps and the government should use violence to achieve this. He's fantasized on stream about raping the wives of police officers. He's lied and slandered Andrew Tate with false accusations. And now he's interviewing terrorists who have in their slogan, "Death to America." The fact that this guy is the #1 left-wing political commentator needs to tell you about who they are. So I recorded an entire video analyzing this video as it was a massive deal at the time, especially considering the insane, inhuman, bloodthirsty things that were said here. Hasan, and at the time his only friend, Ethan Decline, were having an internal conflict about capitalism versus communism, because Hasan's a communist, which, by the way, is mind-blowing, especially considering the things that the communists wrote about. So by demonstrating the immorality and evil in this creature, I'm going to depict the state of the left and what they're willing to tolerate in order to abide in their ideology, and also that their ideology is defined by unmitigated resentment.
So what would be good about a socialist re-education camp for capitalists?
It wouldn't necessarily, I don't think it'd be camps. I mean, it depends on, crimes, right? Like, are people committing crimes at the behest of this? Because if there's a socialist...
Absolutely insanity. You are seeing insanity represented in front of you. This is who the left chooses to align themselves with.
State, and someone is doing, like, white terror. So in a situation like that, I think if there's any kind of, like, terrorism happening...
The left has already said that any person that supports Trump, any person that is MAGA, is a terrorist. They want to put you in concentration camps. Understand this.
If you're in a socialist country, is there one party or multiple parties?
It depends. I mean...
Because one party's scary, right? Can we agree on that? A one-party system is not a good system.
I think you and I would agree that we...
No, I'm just asking you. I don't care about the United States. I'm asking you about socialism.
I think that there are different forms of governance, and the United States is not that different.
I don't care about the United States. I want to know. I just want to talk about a socialist
I think that no matter what happens, the state does what the state is supposed to do. You can either do it...
Acknowledges he wants a tyranny. Acknowledges he wants a one-party system. 1984, this is who they are. They are driven by hatred for America. I watched the Coffee Hour, the Ice Coffee Hour, where Graham Stephan interviewed this guy. I think I recorded a video analyzing that situation. And it's clear that his childhood, his upbringing has been, he was broken as a boy, and his life has been defined by resentment for America. He moved here and stated that the reason he moved to America is because he, quote, loved moral degeneracy.
But, you know, paired up with that, seeing America as it's, you know, this beacon of moral degeneracy that I thought was awesome.
There it is. The leftist ethos is enshrined in hating morality and hating objective frameworks. They're driven by resentment for what judges them. They're driven by resentment for what shatters and disintegrates their ideology and judges their ideology as fraudulent, as their ideology claims to bestow virtue and merit to any person that abides in the ideology. That's the reason why they don't believe in an individual identity. They believe in a group ideology, which upon joining gives you all status necessary so that you can just slander, demonize, and say any person who disagrees with me is a bad person, therefore I don't have to contend with anything they have to say. Oh, and on top of that, I also don't have to contend with anything they have to say because I don't believe in free speech. That's the reason they hate Elon Musk and they hate free speech.
A little bit older, fucking lost everything. 18 when I went to college, when he like full-blown lost it all.
Talks about how his dad lost everything.
What happened in that?
Just gambled, basically.
Yikes. Okay.
You know, he's never fully like brought it up. You know what I mean?
My dad once faced financial difficulties, but I didn't decide I'm going to support terrorists with death to America in their slogan. We know he's broken. He said he moved to America because he loved moral degeneracy. But again, this is who the left has decided to align themselves with. Are you waking up? They are marching in the streets of New York chanting death to the Jews. They're on TikTok celebrating Osama bin Laden. They're having on their biggest platform Houthi terrorists whose slogan is death to America. They want to put you in concentration camps. And they call conservatives on MSNBC a potentially fascist movement. This is who they align themselves with. This is who they are. They are insane. They are liars.
Yeah. ChatGPT keeps it so real. You don't even know.
ChatGPT Lenin pilled you.
So
let me read you what Lenin said. Lenin said, 3/4 of mankind may die if necessary to ensure the other quarter for communism. Lenin then outlined the purpose and acknowledged the purpose for the famines by saying, destroying the peasant economy and driving the peasant from the country to the town. The famine creates a proletariat. Lenin also regarded Europeans as animals. He said, it is precisely now and only now, when in the starving regions people are eating human flesh and hundreds, if not thousands of corpses are littering the roads, that we can, and therefore must, carry out the confiscation of church valuables with the most savage and merciless energy, not stopping short of crushing any resistance. The greater the number of representatives of the reactionary clergy and reactionary bourgeoisie we succeed in executing for this region, the better. This is what Lenin wrote. This is the person who he is referencing in an uplifted, oh, ha 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 type of way. Oh, ha ha, you've been Lenin pilled, ha ha. This is what he wrote. This is what Lenin thought. They executed people by the tens of millions.
Is Lenin a socialist or a social democrat?
No, that's Lenin is the revolutionary figure that is probably more important than Marx even.
Even more important than Marx. I just read to you what he wrote. He wrote about starving people until they became cannibals in order to drive them to the cities and confiscate people's possessions. This is blatantly evil. And yet this is who the left aligns themselves with?
What's his deal? He's just a socialist?
And then this perverted anti-intellectual fat freak, this deformed human who has completely been destroyed ever since he distanced himself from Jordan Peterson and is now being taken advantage of by Hasan, is asking, oh, so he's just, a radical revolutionary? What did he do? What did he do exactly? Let's see if they tell him exactly how bloodthirsty this person was.
Yes, he's the first, this is, the father of the USSR.
The father of my movement deliberately tried to starve people into becoming cannibals. There are worse things that he said that I can't even read on YouTube. These people are depraved. These people are beyond insanely evil. And for the left to have aligned themselves with this by the droves of unthinking drones who are driven by resentment has to be broken. We have to break them. These people that insist on backing the worst ideology humanity has ever seen have to be broken.
Nice. That was a nice legacy to have. That was a nice...
Father of the USSR.
That was a nice legacy to have.
Could have been.
I'm just kidding. I'm sorry.
Could have been. No. There's nothing. I don't think it's that controversial to say that, like.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think it's that controversial. 3/4 of mankind may die if necessary to ensure the other quarter for communism. Destroying the peasant economy and driving the peasant from the country to the town. The famine creates a proletariat. It is precisely now and only now when the starving regions of people are eating human flesh and hundreds, if not thousands of corpses are littering the roads that we can and therefore must carry out the confiscation of church valuables and in the most savage, merciless energy, not stopping short of crushing any resistance. But it doesn't end there. What about Trotsky? What about Stalin?
Sorry. Or, well, Joseph Stalin was basically... Right. Whatever. That's not what I want to get into now.
Stalin definitely had a lot of issues, I will admit.
Can you imagine someone describing Hitler this way? Lenin said, we must hate. Hatred is the basis of communism. It's literally right here. It's a quote. Hatred is the basis of communism. Children must be taught to hate their parents if they are not communist. This is what Lenin said. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Lenin pilled, father of communism. Ha, ha. This is fine, right? Head of the Communist International, Hirsch Alferbaum, wrote, we will make our hearts cruel, hard and immovable, so that no mercy will enter them, so that we will not quiver at the sight of a sea of enemy blood, so we will loose the floodgates of that sea without mercy, without sparing. We will kill our enemies in scores of hundreds. Let them be thousands. Let them drown themselves in their blood. Let there be floods of blood in bourgeoisie, more blood, as much as possible. Communist thinker right there. Holy shit.
Father of the USSR.
And if he endorses Lenin, then he definitely endorses Lenin's right-hand man, Trotsky, you want to know what Trotsky said? Let's have a little excerpt from Trotsky's mind. This socialist, communist mind that clearly stands up for people. This is how you know, by the way, that they don't care about standing up for the little guy. They're just driven by resentment, unfathomable resentment. Let me read you what Trotsky wrote. To be clear, these guys are communists, and they're teaching their audience to be communist, and they just praised Lenin. And Lenin's right-hand man, Trotsky, wrote this: "We must turn Russia into a desert populated by white Negroes upon whom we shall impose a tyranny such as the most terrible Eastern despots ever dreamt of. The only difference is that we will be left-wing tyranny, not a right-wing tyranny." This is what he wrote. "It will be a red tyranny, not a white one. We mean the word red literally, because we shall shed such floods of blood as will make the human losses suffered in capitalist wars pale by comparison. The biggest bankers across the ocean will work in the closest possible contact with us. If we win the revolution, we shall establish a power of Zionism upon the wreckage of revolution funeral. And we shall become a power before the whole world will sink to its knees. We shall know what real power is by means of terror and bloodbaths. We shall reduce the Russian intelligentsia to a state of complete stupefaction and idiocy, and to become an animal existence." Leon Trotsky wrote in 1921, messengers representing starving European peasants asked Trotsky for help, and he said this: "Are you starving? This is not famine yet. When your women start eating their children, they may come and they may say we are starving." Guys, we're not facing people we can debate with. We're not facing people who are interested in dialogue or conversing in ideas or engaging in moral frameworks. They've divorced themselves from those things. They're evil. They are the definition of evil. They are aligning themselves with the worst ideology humanity has ever produced, praising people that wrote the most evil things a person has ever written. Backing an ideology that is the most bloodthirsty and stained in blood ideology the world has ever seen. And they have such hatred for morality, have such hatred for America, that they bring on as their biggest platform terrorists whose slogan is "Death to America," and interview them. I'm going to end this video with a quote from Stalin that may help you to understand their hatred for America. And there's so much more I could say, but I think I've demonstrated it enough here. The woke mind virus, the left, Marxism, communism, it's all anti-intellectual. It is all an existential threat to civilization. This is why they hate America. This is why he hates America. Stalin wrote, "America is like a healthy body, and its resistance is threefold. It's patriotism, it's morality, and its spiritual life. If we can undermine these three areas, America will collapse from within." Joseph Stalin.